Hey y'all, I'm Abby, More Than Just Skin, and I am continuing on with my collection videos. This one is my face palette collections. Now, in the past videos, I have swatched everything. I'm not going to swatch everything in these because that would just take too long, so I'm not going to swatch every product, but I will probably pick one product from each palette to kind of show you what it looks like, or maybe a couple. But these are my face palettes, so if you're interested in seeing my face palettes, then hit that subscribe button and keep watching. Okay, so I'm going to start with higher end palettes. This first one is the Hourglass, and this is the Ambient Lighting palette. It comes with the shade Dim Light, Incandescent Light, and Radiant Light. This I use to set my under eye. Set my under eye, I use it as a setting powder or like a finishing powder on my entire face. I like to swish my brush through the whole thing. It is gorgeous. I think that these powders really speak for themselves. And you can see it's very well loved, and when I run out, I will either repurchase the full palette or I'm going to pick whichever color I think that I like the best, which probably is this one down here, which I think is Radiant Light, to purchase the full size up. So love, love, love that. I think it is definitely worth the price tag, even though it does carry a hefty price tag. Staying with Hourglass, this is the Ambient Surreal Light, Lighting Edit Surreal Light. I purchased this for the packaging because I thought it's gorgeous. This was limited edition, but it does have some gorgeous colors in here. This is like your limited edition setting powder. It is just absolutely gorgeous. I don't think you can really even see it swatched, but it's swatched right there. It just gives a gorgeous sheen to the skin. The blushes are nice. The bronzer is okay. You can see it right there. It's a pretty bronzer, but definitely for me, the star of this is the strobe light. And I don't think you can even see it, but it is such a gorgeous highlight. And I find that it is the dupe for it is the Essence Pure Nude Highlight, and to me, because it can be built up, it can be subtle, it is just gorgeous. So I love this palette. I just don't reach for it often. I really should. Moving on to Kevyn Aucoin. This is the Contour Book Volume 2. You have, when you open up, it kind of shows you different ways to contour your face and to do your eyes. This has eyeshadow. It has two cream products. It has the cream contour. It has the cream highlight. It has the powder contour, the powder highlight, and then you have 4 eyeshadows. You can travel with this and really have everything that you need except for a blush. Of course, the contour shade is definitely the high point. This is what I contour with. This is a great contour shade. I almost wish I had it just in an individual. I think it would be easier. But I find that these eyeshadows are really gorgeous too. You have like that pretty shimmer shade right there. You have this cool tan, which is gorgeous in the crease. So you definitely can achieve some nice looks with this palette. Another palette that has been well loved is my Anastasia Contour Light to Medium Contour Kit. I love this thing. You can see it has definitely been well loved by me. I like to contour with these shades down here. You can even bronze with like this shade because it definitely is warmer, so it's a great bronzing shade. These are just so incredibly creamy. Then you have this, which is to me the perfect contour, and I like to mix it with this one. And then you have this pretty banana. I like to mix these two right here and just give you a good shade to set your under eye with. So yeah, this palette is very nice and well loved by me. I have the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow. This bronzer, oh y'all, it is so pretty. It's very subtle, but it's very buildable. You can see it right there. You can also contour with it, and this highlight, it's pretty too. It's very subtle as well, but to me, that's kind of what you expect with Charlotte's, and it's just gorgeous. I'm very glad I have that in my collection. And then next up, my assistant got this in her FabFitFun box. She is not a big makeup person, so lucky me, and it's still in the box, which means I have not even opened it, y'all. So I'm super excited to try this out. This is the Tarteist Pro Glow, so I'm opening it with you all for the first time, but look how pretty that is. So we have, is that a cream. Oh, we have a cream bronze down there, which let's maybe play with that a bit. Let's play with that. Okay, so we have this, ooh, let's see. So if you can see right there, that is the cream. We have a sculpting shade, which is right there. That's the powder. And then we have a strobe, which is right there. Then we want the stunner. Oh, that's really pretty. Very pigmented. And then we have like kind of a bronzier color over here and then another highlight. So I'm excited to play with this. I think that it's really pretty and I'm already making smudge marks on it, but this will be fun to play around with. Really pretty colors there. Two Becca face palettes. The first one is the Jaclyn Hill Becca palette. This is, you can't get it anymore, but it is gorgeous. You have Champagne Pop. You have Prosecco Pop. You have, I said I wasn't going to do this, but I can't help myself because these are just all really pretty. So you have that, and that is what they look like. You have Champagne Pop at the top, Prosecco Pop, and then the three blushes. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous palette. It is something that I reach for often, and I'm really sorry that it was limited edition and you cannot get it anymore. But one you can get, and I think is just as pretty, is this Chrissy Teigen one. You have two highlights, you have, and I'm sorry if I'm blinding you, you have two highlights, you have a blush and a bronzer. So this shade, what is that shade? You have Rose Gold. You have, which I like the best, Beach Nectar. Then you have a bronzer and you have a blush. So I think that this is gorgeous. So you have Rose Gold. Let me show you. Rose Gold, Beach Nectar, the bronzer, and then the blush. And the blush is called Hibiscus Bloom and then Malibu Soleil. I don't think the bronzer is as creamy as the regular Becca bronzers, but it's still really, really pretty. So those are gorgeous Becca palettes. Y'all, the rest is drugstore. I am thinking that this is drugstore. A friend gave this to me. It came in one of her boxes. I'm not sure if it's drugstore or not, but I don't know. So this is the brand Ish, and it's called I'm Smoking Hot, and I have no information on it other than that it's the Contour Kit Light Medium, and this is what it looks like. I'm not sure I've ever worn it because I find these to be a little dry. They're not very creamy. The blush is a little bit creamier, but I don't really find them to be all that creamy. But those are the shades there. I should reach for it more often. I might put it towards the front. Maybe I might put it in a Shop My Stash and try to use it some. Okay, I picked up the Kokie Contour palette from Walmart. I had heard this was a dupe for the Kat Von D Shade and Light. I do not have the Kat Von D, but I will say that I find this to be just as good as my Anastasia one. I think that, I mean, it is so pigmented. It is beautiful. It is perfect to contour with. Those are the shades. And then you have these colors up here, which you could set your under eye with. So if you're looking for a contour book, you don't want to break the bank, go to Walmart. I think this is $15.99. You really can't beat it. And my arm is a little stained, but moving on, I have got two Flower Beauty face palettes. The first one is the highlighting palette. It is the Shimmer and Strobe highlight palette. This is gorgeous. You have three highlighters in here. And I'm going to swatch them so you can see them. So you have just a kind of champagne color, you have a pinkier shade, and you have a gold. I actually like to run my fingers across all of them, and you get a shade that looks like that right there. And it is just gorgeous. For the price, you cannot beat it. My biggest complaint with this is that sometimes I find it to be too bling, oh my, bam, in your face highlight, but it is gorgeous. The next next Flower Beauty palette I have has a bronzer, a blush, and a highlight in it. So this is the Lift and Sculpt Contour Palette. I have not used this much at all because for this time of year, this bronzer just does not give me enough payout for a bronze. The blush is very pink, as you can see, and then the highlight is in your face highlight like the typical Flower Beauty. I hope to try this out more maybe in the fall and winter, but as of right now, I just really haven't used it much and I'm not sure what my thoughts are on it. Okay, continuing on with drugstore, and this is the final group that I have. I have this NYX 3-step sculpt palette. As you can see, it has been well loved because that shade is almost finished. I loved setting my under eye with this powder. I usually don't like a pressed powder to set my under eye, but this one was spot on. And this is a great shade to contour. This has actually been what I've been reaching for over my more expensive contour books. I have been reaching for this and I have been loving it. I find that the highlight is a little gritty and a little sparkly for me. So I don't love that. I wish this came with just these two. I think I would love that. And this could be both of them actually, and then the contour. But I love this palette and I will continue to use that. Next up is this Rimmel one, and this is Rimmel by Kate, and it is 002 Coral Glow. You have a blush, a contour, and a highlight. The contour is not as quite as contour shade for me. To me, that's a little too warm to be a contour, but I do like it as a bronzer. The blush is really pretty. It's just a pretty, it's just a pretty coral glow. And the highlight is okay. It's a little on the drier side and I don't really feel like you get much out of it. And that's it right there. But it gives you just kind of a nice glow, but it's not too much. But this is a very pretty, if you were looking to get kind of everything in one, I wouldn't rely on this for my highlight because I just don't think it has enough payout. But for bronzer and blush, this is really pretty and it definitely doesn't break the bank. A set that I don't love, this is the St. Lucia Duo by e.l.f. And you have a bronzer that I just don't think you get. It's not very creamy. And then you have this blush that is just, to me, non-existent. So you have a bronzer and then you have a blush. And I just really don't think I will ever get enough color payout out of that blush for it to work on me. So this is probably something that I will be, if it's going to focus, I will be getting rid of in the future. So the next, I have 4 e.l.f. palettes. I'm just going to grab one. This is the bronzer palette. And I have to say, I'm just not really that sure what I think about this. The bronzers are a little dry, and I'm just going to swatch all of them. I don't find that they pick up really great on my brush, and I think you can kind of see they come across a little patchy. How I normally do it though is I just swirl my brush through all of them and then I get that shade. So I like it best like that, but I just don't love this palette, and even though it's very reasonable, I wouldn't recommend going out and purchasing that. Then I have the e.l.f. contour palette. Again, I don't find that these, oh, that actually didn't feel too bad, and that's a pretty contour shade. And then you have a bronzer shade, let's see, which the bronzer is kind of non-existent. What is this? Is this a setting right under your eye? And then what is this? Yeah, I just don't really love this palette. This is probably something that I will declutter before long because I just don't think that the formulation is good. It's very patchy and I just don't love it. Now I'm going to wipe off my arm and we are going to go in with these last 2 palettes. Now this first one is a blush palette that I have to admit I never ever reach for. But I'm not getting rid of it because I do want to try it out. It just has some really great colors. So I'm going to swatch this. Now the blushes are not dry like the bronzer, and those are some pretty colors. So I am going to try to maybe use this soon and shop my stash and see what I can work out with that. And lastly, from e.l.f., I have, and I think that this is gorgeous packaging. I'm wiping my hands off so that I can swatch these. This is the Total Face Palette, and let's see, get it open. It looks like that. You have two blushes, which are both pretty nude. And then you have a bronzer, which is okay. And then you have a highlight. Let's see. And the highlight leaves a lot to be desired. So this is that palette. If you're really into very neutrals, you may want to try this. But for me, it's just not great. And probably at some point I will declutter that. Okay, so that is all of my face palettes. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. I would love to have you back here on a regular basis. And as always, I hope this video finds you having a fantastic day and a great week, and I will see you all soon. Bye, y'all.